The City of Lloydminster has arranged for a caretaker for Weaver Park until well into 2025. In preparation for the Saskatchewan Summer Games, Council agreed to renewing the caretaker agreement for the campground.
Weaver Park Caretaker Agreement is an extension of a contract that was signed last year. They actually do all of the bookings and manage the maintenance of the Weaver Park. And so there's some really specific things that they do, but to make sure that our guest experience is really a positive one, to help our campers, find services or connect to the services, to book their reservations, etc.
The caretaker agreement was viewed by City Council as the most cost-effective option, opposed to the other routes available.
If we didn't have this caretaker agreement in place, we would have to hire city staff to actually run that. And so this is just an opportunity for us to um, engage a business in managing that piece for us and really looking at the operational side of the Weaver Park.
The agreement will need to be renewed or reworked by October 31st, 2025. Tim Hortons locations across the country are adding a new donut to their shelves for the next few days to help support the Special Olympics. Customers filed through the doors to buy the new Special Olympic donuts. The new creations are a chocolate base with vanilla icing and whipped cream. Each donut costs $2, and all the proceeds go towards the different Special Olympics affiliates. With the campaign, Mark Widzany knows how helpful these events can be.
For our sports event, to run any sports events is fairly costly, so Tim Hortons comes out and makes a special donut for us on called Choose to Include. So yeah, all the funds from the donuts come back to all the different affiliates.
Widzany also loves how these campaigns get the Special Olympics involved in the community.
It's also an awareness campaign too. So we get our athletes out to quite a few of the stores in town here, and we just interact with the community. We want to be part of the community. We've got over 80 athletes in our affiliate here in Lloydminster. So yeah, we want to be part of the community.
The campaign runs today until the 4th at Tim Hortons locations across Canada. Different Indigenous-made movies are being showcased throughout a Film Week event in May Cinema 6, starting tonight. Our Leo Cruzat had a chance to talk to the Vice President of May Theatres to tell us more.
Joining with us today is Sydney May, the Vice President of May Theatres Limited, as well as the organizer of the Indigenous Film Week. How are you today?
I'm doing fantastic.
So the Indigenous Film Week started today and will end at the February 8th. Can you tell us more about that?
So one thing that's been really going around is people wanting to see themselves on the big screen. And we know that there's a lot of Indigenous people around and that they don't really get an opportunity to see themselves up on the big screen. And to me, representation for everyone is very important. And we had this very unique opportunity of 2 Indigenous films being released back-to-back weeks, starting January 26th, which is with Cold Road, and then February 2nd with Cafe Daughter. So we decided to do a little Indigenous Film Week where one screen of ours is dedicated to playing only Indigenous films. We're also throwing in Grizzlies, which has been a fan favorite and everyone loves it. And we are doing discounted prices for our tickets for $7 plus GST to try and make sure everyone gets an opportunity to come and see themselves being represented on the big screen.
Is this the first time that May Theatres did this event?
So this is our first time doing an Indigenous Film Week. We've played lots of, well, as many as we can for Indigenous films like Guitar Lessons and, like I mentioned, Grizzlies, Bones of Crows. We like to bring them in whenever we can and whenever we can work with film studios.
Are the films starred by Indigenous, directed by Indigenous, or what is it all about?
They're done by Indigenous. Cafe Daughter is about a young half Chinese, half Cree girl in the 1960s in a small Saskatchewan community who's working on embracing her identity as well as working on fulfilling her dreams of going to medical school despite prejudices against her in the 1960s. Then Cold Road is about a Indigenous woman in the Canadian North and her dog being hunted by a stranger in a semi-truck. So they're all featuring Indigenous stars. And then Grizzlies is about a small Arctic town and a group of Inuit students who find a passion for lacrosse, and it helps transform their lives.
Are there any going to be more films to be featured during the week?
So those are the 3 that we could get for this event. But I'm very excited. I really want to see Cafe Daughter. It looks like a great story, and it's based in Saskatchewan.
Why is it important to have this type of event that representing Indigenous groups?
Well, being able to see yourself being represented on the big screen just gives you that extra, in my opinion, motivation and inspiration that, hey, if someone like me can be on a big screen like that, what can't I do? And that's especially why I love Cafe Daughter, because it is about a girl defying all odds, all prejudice, working on her dream becoming true. And I just feel that there's magic to the big screen. That's why I'm in this industry. My entire family, our family-run business, we love seeing films up on the big screen with the audience, the sound, the atmosphere, the popcorn. And I think everyone should be able to see themselves up on a screen like that.
Since this is a first-time event, are you planning to make it an annual event?
We're hoping to do it annual. We're hoping that film studios and independent filmmakers and the Canadian government supports more Indigenous films being made and created. So we're hoping that it can be a regular thing, but it really depends.
So is this film week open for everyone?
Correct. Everyone can come and watch. I know Grizzlies, PG, everyone loved it when we played it several years ago. I know Cold Road is a thriller, so it may be not quite as family friendly, but Cafe Daughter is a drama that I think everyone can relate to.
Well, thank you so much, Sydney, for giving us the information about this Indigenous Film Week. Hopefully, a lot of people are going to appreciate the arts and films created by Indigenous.
Thank you. Our showtimes are on our website as well as on our Facebook page and Instagram page.
Thank you so much and have a good day.
Thanks. You as well.
Some sad news today for movie lovers. He played Apollo Creed in the Rocky movies and many other Hollywood blockbusters. Actor Carl Weathers has died in his sleep at the age of 76.
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man. You need an interpreter? It's time to go to school.
The former NFL linebacker first appeared as the heavyweight world champion in 1976's Rocky, a role he says put him on the map. He also starred in a slew of movies such as Action Jackson, Predator, and Happy Gilmore. Most recently, Weathers was nominated for an Emmy Award for the Disney Plus hit The Mandalorian, appearing in all 3 seasons. Callum Hawker joins me now with the weather, and I guess we're getting a little bit more of winter season next week, but still a nice weekend ahead for us.
Yeah, and you know, even today a little cooler than what we've been seeing earlier in the week, and like you said, Leanne, it is expected to get a little colder. We've been kind of having spring-like conditions for the last 2 weeks now after that polar vortex came into the border city. But yeah, still very warm temperatures here. Currently 1 degree here in Lloydminster. So yeah, not typical weather you'd be seeing on February 2nd, but yeah, 1 degree with a wind chill of -3, so not too cold at all. 17 km/h winds as well, so not too windy here in the border city. And then going over, looking at Alberta side, Cold Lake 4 degrees, Bonnyville at 6, St. Paul and Marwayne at 5 degrees, Vermilion at 8, Wainwright at 9 degrees, Provost at 8 degrees, and then Vegreville and Edmonton at 5, while Lac La Biche is at 6 degrees. Over on the Saskatchewan side, Pearceland's at 5, St. Walburg and Meadow Lake is at 3 degrees. Maidstone is -1, the only one in the negatives here. Macklin at 8 degrees, North Battleford at 2, and then Isle La Crosse at 3 degrees. Tonight's forecast in North Battleford, a low of -5 with some clear skies, very similar to the weather we've had here in Lloydminster. It's been, melting throughout the day. The snow has been melting throughout the day, and then freezing again at night. So make sure if you are in these areas, it is very slippery out there. So make sure if you're on the roads, watch out on the slippery surfaces. And then North Battleford tomorrow, high of 0, some clouds coming in throughout the day, but a pretty sunny day tomorrow in North Battleford. And then Cold Lake tonight, -5 is the low, becoming pretty cloudy, so not as clear in North Battleford, but still pretty warm conditions and temperatures in Cold Lake. And then Cold Lake tomorrow, a high of 3 degrees with low clouds, so still seeing warmer temperatures in these areas with some light gusts of winds at 13 kilometers an hour. And then Lloydminster tonight, a low of -3, mainly clear. So yeah, still very warm, during the night hours, and not the temperatures you'd usually see in February. Then tomorrow's forecast: 6 a.m. mostly clear, -2. Noon, it'll be cloudy at -1. 6 p.m. same temperature at -1 with some clouds. And then going into midnight overnight is -3 with some cloud coverage as well. Then looking at the next 3 days here in the border city. Saturday, some clouds coming in throughout the day, but like I said, some colder temperatures here, a high of 1 and a low of -9. Sunday, some snow coming in, actually, some 5 to 10 centimeters to be expected, high of -6 and a low of -10. And then on Monday, starting your week with some clouds, a high of -6 and a low of -9. That is your first look at our weather report. We'll have some more news with Leanne after the break.
While the weather has been a treat for Saskatchewan and Alberta, most farmers across the region would appreciate a few more heavy snowfalls. Our Thomas Wildman has more.
Today I'm joined by Mackenzie Ledoux, a crop extension specialist for the government of Saskatchewan, and she is here today to talk about the low moisture that we have been seeing throughout this winter and how it is going to be affecting crop producers as well as livestock producers in Saskatchewan. And so thank you so much for being with me today, Mackenzie.
Thank you so much for having me, Thomas.
And so, Mackenzie, how important is snow and upcoming moisture throughout the winter and spring for the upcoming growing season this summer for crop producers and livestock producers as well?
Well, first things first, it's hard to predict what's going to happen in the next couple of months. So there's always fingers crossed that we're going to get some more snow or some rain coming up in the spring. So there's always the hope that we could have some early storms coming through this growing season. But as you said, moisture is incredibly important to both grain producers and also ranchers and cattlemen. What that moisture does is essentially for our grain producers, it makes sure that those seeds in the ground have enough moisture so that they can germinate and establish a good rooting system so that they can tap further into further moisture. The same goes for our pasture, and that's really important to our cattlemen as well. Is those pastures, they need that moisture to really start that green up process and really rejuvenate the plants that have been kind of gone dormant over the winter. The other thing that's really important about the lack of snow right now is there's lack of insulation for our fall seeded cereals. So our fall rye and winter wheat need that snow and insulation to make sure that they're also set up for success for the coming summer. But as I said, it's only January or February right now, and it's really hard to tell what's going to happen in the next couple of months.
And so you mentioned winter wheat and other crops that need the cold weather and snow to help them germinate and replenish. Are there any other major factors that are affected with this warm weather that we're experiencing right now?
Absolutely. So our fall seeded cereals do require a nice snow layer to keep them dormant and keep them vernalizing throughout the winter. So that really helps them in their phenological processes and establishing them on the right path for this coming season. So they do need a little bit of snow to keep them isolated. Again, the different crops and the different amounts of snow that they need does vary, but you do need some snow to keep those crops ready up and set for the summer.
And finally, Mackenzie, is there any other major benefits for a good snow and a lot of moisture for the upcoming growing season?
Absolutely. Well, grasshoppers are always a really important point right now, considering the last growing season. And something about grasshoppers is that a lot of moisture in the spring can help produce mold in those eggs in the ground. So it can really decrease grasshopper numbers if we get more moisture. The other thing is that really cold temperatures have also been shown to knock back grasshopper numbers. So given that we just came out of a little bit of a cold snap, there is that added benefit. However, it all depends on where the grasshopper eggs are and if it's whether or not a significant enough period of time for that cold snap to really affect grasshopper numbers.
Thank you so much for all the information, Mackenzie, and we will definitely look forward to talking to you once again this summer for the upcoming growing season.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Happy to be here.
Time now to have a look at all of the pet pictures you've been sharing with us for our Pet of the Day.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to have them featured on Pet of the Day.
I'm joined by Catherine Edwards, the owner of Center Stage Studio, talking about the Love is an Open Door event that is coming up. Catherine, thanks so much for your time today. How's it going?
Good, good. Thank you for having me.
So what is this event that you're putting on? Can you tell me a little bit more about it?
So this event is, it's a musical event, and it is, it's a evening of song is what we're calling it. So basically it's around the theme, because it's Valentine's Day. So we're centering it around the theme of love. So you're going to hear a lot of songs that center around that theme. We also, because we're doing Frozen Junior, that's our musical production that we're putting on in April, we thought it would be a great opportunity to maybe preview some of the songs that we're going to be doing in the musical. And then of course there's the song that that Hans and Anna sing together called Love is an Open Door. So we thought, well, that's a great title for our event. And so it's going to be a silent auction as well. And then we have desserts that we're going to be serving as well while you're listening to some beautiful music.
That sounds fun. So a lot more than just regular performances. That's amazing. So how do people get their tickets?
So to get tickets, you can pick them up in person at the Ensuite. So, and you ask for Liz. They're located in the MCO building, but you want to go in the Ensuite side. If you go in the MCO side, they'll just direct you where to go, but you want to ask for Liz. So those are to get tickets in person, and tickets are $15. You can also get them online as well. You can email us at admin, ADMIN, at centerstagestudios.ca, and just keep in mind that it's CENTER when you're sending us the email, and then we can hook you up with some tickets online as well.
And Catherine, how many years have you been putting this event on, or is this the first year that you guys are doing this?
This is our first year doing an event like this. We have been putting on our musical productions now through Center Stage Studios. We've been doing this. This is our third year in business, and so we decided to try and have a few different smaller events that kind of showcase the talent that we have within the studio. So that's one thing that you will notice when you come, is a lot of the entertainment is going to be our youth performers. They're doing some solos and some group performances, as well as we're featuring our beginner musical theater class. So those are our kindergarten to grade 2 aged kids. And so they're going to be performing as well. And then we also have a couple of instructors from the studio that are going to be performing.
And lastly, Catherine, when is this event?
So this event is February 10th. It's at the Legacy Center. Again, tickets are $15. It's at 7 o'clock. The doors will open at 6:30. And then, like I said, we do have a silent auction, and we've got some really great items that have been donated. So like I said, it's just a wonderful local event to come and help support our musical talent within the community.
Thanks so much, Catherine. This sounds like a great event for the public. Thanks again for your time today.
Great. Thanks for having me.
The Manitou Pioneer Museum hopes you can join them for a Valentine's evening coming up next Saturday, February the 10th. Get your ticket now for this great night out, which features entertainment from J.D. Bixby. You may remember him as a runner-up on Canadian Idol. He's been entertaining audiences since then. He sings some classic country, some rock and roll. It is going to be a great night out next Saturday. Plus, there's a fantastic meal. There's a chance to win door prizes. There's going to be an auction as well. For more details or to get your tickets, give Dale a call, 306-893-4096. The Lloydminster Museum and Archives is hosting a couple of special events. One of them is coming up right away. It's taking place tomorrow. It's Healing Through Dance, Empowering Through Education. Randy Lynn, a distinguished speaker and a jingle dancer, she's going to talk about the jingle dress's role in healing and resilience and share some details about the dance as well. And then coming up next week on Wednesday, as part of Archives Week, local author Merlin Ford is going to be at the Lloydminster Museum and Archives to talk about his book, Horses, Harnesses and Homesteads. Pre-registration is recommended for both of those events. For more details, you can go to the city's website, lloydminster.ca, or just get in touch with the Lloydminster Museum and Archives. And this month is shaping up to be a very entertaining month here at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. It all starts on February the 11th when Beauty and the Beast will take to the stage. The following night, Aaron Pritchett is in town with his Liquored Up tour. February 26th, it's the Great Canadian Road Trip, and February 29th, it's the Snowed In Comedy Tour. For all the details and to get your tickets for these great events, head online, vicjubatheatre.ca. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, we hope you stay safe and stay healthy.
What's Happening is brought to you by Northern Factory Workwear, Circle Drive East, Saskatoon, and Highway 17 South, Lloydminster.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery, downtown Lloydminster.
Thank you very much for joining me today, Robin. We are talking about the reservation dates have been released. And I mean, I know it's February and maybe sounds like it's a little too early, but that time is coming up on us before we know it. So April 1st is when people can start booking. Can you tell me a little bit about the process?
Yeah, April 1st, the launch, we call it launch, and it opens up to the provincial parks in the province. The first phase is seasonal sites, so they will open up for booking on April 1st, and it's a queue system. So as you phone in, you put in the queue, and hopefully the people that want those sites get them. They go very quick.
Now, I had seen in the news release here that there are new seasonal sites at parks across the province, including Meadow Lake. Can you tell me how many new seasonal sites are there?
There's only been 5 new seasonal sites added in Meadow Lake, and that's at Greg Lake Campground. So, but overall, that makes 42 seasonal sites in Meadow Lake Provincial Park.
All right. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit just about some of the programming there. I understand that there is a boreal, back in the boreal in Meadow Lake. Can you tell me just a little bit about that?
Well, it's an opportunity for people to come out and explore the Boreal Trail, which is a 130-kilometer trail that spans through the park right from the Alberta border on the west side right over to Waterhen Lake area in the east side. And it's a chance to really explore the different aspects of the park, the many lakes, the different geography, and get a good idea of the flora and fauna in our park.
Can you tell me, Robin, what are some of the other perhaps new features in Meadow Lake this year, if there are any?
There's not a lot of new features in Meadow Lake, but we are constantly working on improving such things as boat launches and our campgrounds and stuff. We are working right now on opening a new campground at Waterhen Lake, and then doing some work on the boat launch there as well. This new campground will have 40 sites, and it's going to be a busy. Waterhen Lake is a busy park, or busy lake in our park, so I expect that it will fill up fairly quickly. Now, it's not on the reservation system as of yet, It's a first come, first serve campground. So it's basically show up and book your site that way.
Not online yet, but targeted for the summer of 2024, or are we looking at a little bit further down the road?
Well, we're hoping to have it open this summer by the May long weekend and operating, but you know, we'd like to take some time to work out some of the bugs and make sure everything is operable. And then down the road, it may come online as an actual campground that you're able to book online.
I did want to ask you as well. Last year, it was very dry, and of course, there were a lot of forest fires in the northern part of the province. And I'm just wondering, I know another dry winter, you know, it's been a fairly mild winter and probably still fairly dry out there. I suppose there's no crystal ball, but what do you see along those lines for this coming summer?
Well, we are really hoping that we're going to get some of them, you know, early spring rains and bring the moisture levels up and bring the lake levels back up and the water level in general. But you know, like you said, we can't figure out the future just by looking through a crystal ball. We're hoping that we get that moisture, but if not, you know, I foresee that it's going to be, you know, pretty tender out there in the forest, and we will have to ask people to be especially careful to help us in preventing forest fires.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Robin, anything else happening out there this summer that we should know about?
You know, there are a few things in our parks throughout the province that might be well worth taking in. Um, you know, in many of our parks, Canada Day events throughout the province. We also have the Sask Express, and they are going to be at Battleford's Provincial Park in July 19th. So it may be well worth people coming in and seeing that.
All right. Well, Robin, I really do appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today, and have a great day. And hopefully summer's here before we know it.
Yes, thanks, Leon, and hopefully we'll see you on our parks.
It was Groundhog Day today, and the first groundhog in North America to make a prediction was Shubenacadie Sam in the Maritimes. Sam reportedly could not see her shadow when she came outside under the gray skies. According to folklore, this means we'll see an early spring. Wyerton Willie and Punxsutawney Phil also failed to see their shadows, and that's a rare occurrence for all three to be in agreement. And that is all we have for you this evening. Have a great night.